video is going to be a little bit dark because I didn't want to turn on the light and disturb it. So let me tell you where we're at. We have not made the progress I was hoping to make. You can see that they are sitting together in the box and they are snuggling. They do groom each other, but we still have Weston being very domineering and really pushing the limits to the point where Chong gets upset and nips back at him. It's never escalated to a big fight. We're able to break it up pretty easily, but he just keeps trying to hump him, and I think Chong is just not having any of that. So they spent tonight, especially because I wanted to see how they did just being together without any precursor of stressing them in the litter, in the carrier or anything like that. They spent the first hour either chasing each other or sitting at opposite ends of the pen. So I don't have a high comfort factor of leaving them alone overnight at this time. I wanted to give you at least a couple of days to think about where we go from here. I am not saying that you should give up. I'm just saying that you would have work to do at home. You would have to continue these bonding sessions and see where you go. Now, on the good side there, what we can do is I can have you fill out all the adoption paperwork and get a check from you, but not cash it unless things work out. If after a week or two you decide it's just too much or things haven't progressed, we can always return him to the shelter, and I can give you your check back, and there's no problem with that. So think about it if you're willing to continue this. I don't know what the reaction is going to be in Chong's territory. That's probably my biggest concern, and maybe that's the deciding factor is, we take him up there and we put him in Chong's territory, and Chong decides he wants to be the dominant one, and all of a sudden we have a lot of scuffles. So it's just one of those things where I think you can see that, well, maybe you can't, but Chong is grooming him right now. They do groom each other, and usually that's our determining factor, is if they're grooming each other, then everything's going to be okay. But I think if Weston would just calm down and quit trying to over-dominate Chong, that everything would work out. Now, whether or not he'll do that over time, I was hoping he was going to do that this week. I really thought that we were headed that way. But every time I put them together, and maybe that's part of the problem, is that every time I put them together, it's the first time they've been away from each other. So maybe they could get past this after, being together all the time. So, something to think about. I do need to return them on Sunday to you. If you think that you don't want to continue with this, then my suggestion is let's give Chong a break and we'll try something different. Probably going to be, for me to try something different, it's going to be a while because I've got one other bonding lined up for the first part of December, and then I'm doing bunny sitting the second part of December, so it honestly would probably be January before I could try something again if you wanted me to try something. And there's, as far as the donation to HRS, there's no charge if the bonding doesn't work out, and so don't, we can always move on to another one, and that's not an issue. I think the adoption fee for Santa Fe, I think it's $35. I'd have to double check that. So that would be what I would get a check from you for that on Sunday, and just hold on to it until we know where we're going. And then if we have to return him to the shelter, like I said, I give you everything back. So think about it. I know this looks pretty good. Actually, it looks pretty good to me too, but this is after 2 hours. of chases and standoffs, and maybe that's what it took. Maybe tomorrow will be a brand new day for both of them. They obviously both want companionship. That much I can tell. And that's not always the case. Some rabbits occasionally just don't want to be around another thing, period. And sometimes that's because of their past, unfortunately. But usually we can do a good job of finding mates for everybody. So think about everything I've said and decide how you want to move forward. But at this point, I don't plan on having them together overnight before taking them to you. So you would have to definitely have a setup for having two rabbits side by side like I've been doing, and switching them back and forth and working with them every night. Doesn't look too bad right now though, does it? Anyway, I'm going really long with this. Happy Thanksgiving.